What is up, viewers? My name is SDSK, and welcome to the show. It has been a long time since I did that intro. A little bit rusty, admittedly, but welcome back. This has been a long time coming, and this is a conversation that I've been preparing to have. Granted, a one-sided conversation, but a conversation I've been wanting to have for a long time, nonetheless. But before we get into that, I want to say this is the channel. Welcome back. It's been 7 years since I regularly uploaded, 5 years since my last upload, and a lot has happened. So before we kind of jump into the regular antics that I always do, I thought we'd spend this episode talking a little bit about what happened between my last uploads in this one, and also talking a little bit about just kind of the general making YouTube videos and where we're gonna go next. So pretty much this is the past, the present, and the future of this channel kind of in one culmination. And I suppose I guess in that regard we should start from the beginning, which is from my memory, 2011. Now, I'm actually going to look this up because I find it interesting. If I am correct in my regard or my understanding. All right, let's see. About this channel was joined, or this channel joined on December 14th, 2011. And I know this because one of the reasons I made this channel is, or not one of the reasons, I guess one of the reasons I made this channel is because I was watching a lot of Skyrim content, and I remember the release date for Skyrim so clearly because it's so simple. It's 11/11/11. So, yeah, that's when I made this channel for the first time, and my idea was to just play video games and then talk over them to make up for the lack of skill. That was the if I know obviously this is a YouTube channel, it's not like a movie pitch, but if I had an elevator pitch for my channel, it was that would be it, the log line, if you will. Now, I started making videos immediately, but I was obviously a kid who did not have a lot of money, and I have Indian parents who weren't very much understanding of what the hell I was doing. Like, you're gonna be playing video games on the internet, and then what people are gonna watch you. It was just a foreign concept to them. And so, and I can't I mean, obviously back then I probably was like, it's just ridiculous, but I can't really blame him. I get it. But yeah, so that's when I kind of started making content, and I made content. This is a fun fact, something that I don't think I mentioned before, because I thought that if I mentioned this, people would see me as like a not a real YouTuber or whatever. But so yeah, back then I didn't have money for like capture cards or even fancy microphones or just regular microphones, I guess. I'm not really sure, but I didn't have any of that. I didn't have the money for that. So my whole my setup, if you will, my YouTube setup was I'd have the TV in front of me, which there's a TV right here. You guys can't see that, but there's a TV in front of me. I had my office chair, like positioned in front of it, where I usually sit in, like, well, it's an old office chair, but I'd sit in the office chair and I'd play video games. But what I did when I was recording was I'd take a camcorder, my parents' camcorder, and I'd put it on the back, the headrest of the chair, and I'd position the chair straight. I'd zoom in so that the screen was on the camcorder screen, and then I would crouch behind the freaking the chair with my controller, and I'd be like, "What's up, viewers? Welcome. My name's SDSK, and welcome." So yeah, that's kind of how it started. That's where we are. That's how we got where we are, I guess. But obviously, a lot has changed since then. But ultimately, I in a weird way, I owe a lot to this channel because back then when I first started it, I didn't really I was an immigrant and I was freshly immigrated, I should say, so I didn't have a lot of friends. Like I stayed for a few years in one place, then I moved, and then it was just kind of like that same kind of shell shock again of having like a new place. And I'm not saying I had no friends at all. I was able to make some friends, some people who still watch the content that I make now, over a decade later. But yeah, like I was just really awkward, and I do consider myself an introvert, but I ended up, through kind of doing this so often, I'm able to kind of have an extrovert kind of energy, and I still find the idea, like social interactions, especially for a long time, like draining. If I go somewhere after a while, I'm just like, I've had enough of people. I need to lay down. But I think this has kind of given me the kind of confidence to talk and do this, like this, even would have been tough. And like this is one thing. Like now I can pretty confidently do what I'm doing here, like in front of people as well. Like this doesn't bother me as much, because I've just kind of been on the internet for so long. And so in a weird way, this channel did help me kind of find my personality, if you will. You can ask my friends. Let me know how they're doing, by the way. I haven't talked to them in a while. But you can ask my friends about like how my general kind of demeanor is, and I'm pretty much the same person on and off the screen. So I guess this is kind of how I developed, if you will. I make stupid jokes all the time. It's just kind of, it's my blood at this point. But yeah, that's how I started, and for years that's how I just kept making content like that. And then eventually, instead of putting a camcorder in front of on a chair in front of a screen, I decided to use a PC. But I did not have a good PC. Like I didn't have a gaming PC. Once again, my parents were like, well, "Why do you need a gaming PC? Just use a regular PC. You can run Word, all the Word documents. You can have, 2 PowerPoints open. This is what more do you?" I don't know why they sound like Italian or whatever it is, but yeah, I didn't get a gaming PC, so I just had this regular shitty PC, and I made videos that way. I played, indie games, a lot of anything I could find that was like free, in terms of like, there was a lot of like web games, HTML games and stuff like that, browser games, that I would be like, all right, this is what I'm going to be playing. And yeah, that was kind of the process. That's how I started making, videos. And ultimately, I'm making sure, there we go. And I personally fell in love with the whole process. Like I think it's again, like I said, this is kind of how I became who I am. But over the course of those 5 years, pretty much across high school, 4 years of high school, and also in the first year of college, I made hundreds of videos, if to a regular degree. Like I'd make a regular pace of this content, and I'd plan it out. And granted, going back, some of those videos are really bad. But and when I went back, by the way, now that I've come back, which I'll talk about, like why I'll keep going with this story. But now that I'm back, I did go through. I got rid of a whole bunch of stuff that I just thought was just not up to any level of quality. Like a standard. That's not to say that I've deleted like all my old videos. Like there are still videos of me, with my camcorder on the screen. Like that's still available for people to watch, because it's like the humble beginnings, that I can't kind of get rid of that. And there's certainly also content that I think are cringe, but I also, again, I think that it's like stuff that I probably at the time I found pretty funny. So it's a sign of growth, if you will. But I can't, again, like I've done this for so long, I don't find that particularly, like I'm not like particularly like, oh no, that's cringy. But that's how I was, I guess, back then. So, and I guess to a certain degree, we all kind of look back at ourselves and be like, wow, can't believe I said that, or can't believe I wore that, or I did that. But yeah, so that was. There are still a lot of videos. There's like 200 something videos still on the channel, but I ended up getting rid of privating a bunch, deleting a few that I just was like, this is, like this is not even like bad or good or good. It's just a mediocre and stuff that just is unnecessary that I just got rid of. But one thing I did get rid of was Dishonored. I played like 13 episodes of Dishonored, and then I still remember I really enjoyed the game, but then my save file corrupted and I lost like 3 hours of progress, and I was just so bummed about it. But it's been a few years now, so I think if, I might go back. I might go back and play through Dishonored again. Maybe that'll be the first kind of game I do when I'm back, or now that I'm back. But anyway, yeah, I kept making videos until I went in my first year of college, and then after that, college happens, and I move to college, like where I'm like my college is, and I get an apartment there. I make new friends, and in my head, moving out, I was like, I'm gonna be making so much content now that again, this is another detail, is because my parents weren't fully on board with the idea of like me playing video games on the internet and making videos about it and stuff like that. I pretty much decided that well, not decided. The only time I could really make content, like they, I'm trying, like, so I'm trying to give you a practical like understanding of how, like, why I made the decisions I did without sounding like I'm bitching, because some of the stuff I've just accepted, like that's just how it was, and I can't really like bitch about it now and change anything. So I'm very much so totally fine with it. But it's like my parents wouldn't, they wouldn't like, okay, he's recording, let's quiet down. Like, that was never for them. So they just kind of do, they talk just as loud, they play music, whatever, and that's, it's their house, go for it. I'm not going to complain about it. But because of that, I would only record when they went shopping or something like that, when they were out for getting groceries. I'd, get back into my setup. I'd have my shitty mic that I paid for $15 for, my headset that I picked up on sale, and I just kind of crank out some content for like 2 hours a week, 3 hours a week. That would be for the rest of that week, and then just kind of, that was the process I kept for those years. But when I got to college, and I was like, I'm gonna make, so I can record whenever I want. Like, I don't have to wait for like 3 hours on a weekend. I can just make videos. If I'm like, what am I gonna do? I got nothing to do. I'll go make some videos. That didn't end up happening because so when I went to college, I studied film. And if you've been with the channel for a long time, you'll know that I absolutely love movies. I mean, even, again, before December 14th, 2011, I did have another YouTube account where I just pretty much uploaded short films that I made with friends. So that was kind of the inception of, my kind of whole YouTube career, I guess, in that regard. But I love movies. I love making movies from a very young age. So when I got to college, I was like, I'm gonna make movies, and I'm gonna study film and video, and that's exactly what I did. But because of that, I had such a different college experience. Like some of the stuff that I went up to, like what I was able to do. That's a whole another episode of what I. Like some college stories and stuff, because I mean, some of the stuff I guarantee is not on like the typical, like, this is what a college student does, kind of a bucket list or whatever. But that, again, like that's for another episode. But because of that, I was, very, again, because I was able to kind of come out of my shell. I was, in college, I was very outgoing. I had a lot of friends. I did a lot of different things, and I'm very grateful for it. I'm not upset that I should have stayed home and made more videos. My only regret in any regard, if about YouTube, is that, like, back when I was in high school, I actually had the chance to. I have a friend who I'm not going to name. I haven't reached out to him, and I don't want to, say his name and then not have him be cool with me saying his name. And I'm not talking shit or anything, but. Maybe I'll bring it up later. But nevertheless, I had a friend in high school who also did video content. He was much bigger than me at the time, because he used to do it all the time. Like, he was a scheduled thing, and he used to do it, and he could do it and just keep going. And I couldn't do that because his parents were like totally cool with him doing it. So like he'd go home and just start freaking streaming. That was his thing. He did get me into streaming, and that's kind of, I did kind of branch out in that regard to, I keep saying in that regard, let's try to avoid that for the rest of the stream. in that regard. Yeah, he did get me into streaming and stuff, which is cool. But he was giving me advice on like, how who to contact, how you should grow, and I was kind of taking notes from him. And one of the things was like, partnerships. At the time, that was huge in YouTube, because right now the only, like, no one really talks about it, but like the only really way you're making money is you just go, if you're on Twitch, you go become a Twitch affiliate, and then partner. And if you're on YouTube, become a YouTube partner, and that's kind of how that's how you make money. But back then it was different. You could go through a network, and the network would kind of deal with stuff for you. And I did actually ended up getting accepted into is it Makers Studio, Makers TGN's thinking. Oh no, my friend I think was a part of TGN. I'm not really sure what. I think it was Makers Studio or something. Makers Nation, something Makers. Maybe it was just called Makers. They ended up going out of business a few years later. I think they filed for, like, their owners filed for bankruptcy or something a few years later. But nevertheless, I feel like I missed out, because I did get accepted. Like, they did invite me to the partnership program, and I was like, no, I can't do it, not today. And I just kind of feel like I missed a boat there. I mean, the channel obviously grew to a decent size for me, and then it obviously, when I stopped uploading for like 7 years, it kind of fell off a little bit. Though still several hundred people are still sticking around, which is amazing. And if we're, I guess we can transition to, well, I'll keep going. I'll talk about it. Talk about it in a second. By the way, this is no notes. I'm just going off the top of the dome. So if it sounds like I'm like, steering a train back onto course, it's probably because that's what's happening. But college happens. I have a lot of great memories, and but yeah, I thought I was gonna make a whole bunch of videos, but because of everything else that happened, and just kind of trying to be outgoing and trying to make not content. Like, I was making films. That's one of my favorite things about college and having studied film, is that, like, at any given point, if I was bored, instead of just instead of just hopping on a stream, I would call up my friends and be like, hey, let's make a freaking action movie. And, I'd get people down. We'd have cameras and lights and setup and everything. And we just start making, we'd start choreographing a fight scene. And then we'd just shoot a short film in a day. And, like, I have this other channel that where I uploaded all that kind of stuff from my college time. But, like, some of the stuff is still on the hard drive. It's not like it's never been published before. It's just, I was having fun, and I love that time. So I'm not upset that I, missed out on uploading a lot of content. Though I'm sure, again, if I did keep up with it, I'm sure this would have been a bigger channel than it is even currently, or where it was at its peak, if you will. But college happens, and I become, as an adult, I get a job and everything like that. But I can't not make content. I think that's just I think at a very young age, I've discovered that I enjoy making content. It's not even about, like, people seeing the content. Like this, for example, if I'm being honest, let's be frank, this is the first time that a channel that has been inactive for a very, very long time has uploaded or, gone live. And I expect that this will get maybe a 1 view. But, it'll this will be a way for people to kind of get back to, and, they'll be able to, it's a record for them to revisit, to know, kind of everything that happened leading up to this point, if you will. But shit, this is the first time I think I lost my train of thought, and it's gone, people. Something about this channel, I shouldn't have looked over at the screen. I was just trying to say, I was like, is the framing right? And as soon as I looked over, the train had left the station. Oh, I got a job, but I can't stop making content. There, oh, I'm back. The train, I've caught up to the train. I've realized that I love making content. And so even though I didn't have this channel, and it didn't feel right to, because at the time I had other people as well that, like, again, when I went to college, there's other people who also had interest in kind of doing the stuff that I did and talking about video games or playing video games and stuff like that. So in 2021, right? Maybe 2020. Maybe 2020. I'll say this. Okay. So 2019, the end of 2019, I teamed up with my friend Alexa, and we made a channel called CHUMBAG. We made a channel that was a different name, but it's called CHUMBAG HQ, and that channel has 78,000 subscribers right now, currently, and which is what right now means, by the way. Currently and right now, synonymous. So I did that. I I helped that channel. Like I kind of curated content. I edited the stuff. I did a lot of the graphics and stuff like that for it, the art and everything like that for it. And then 2020, I was I was streaming to that. There, like we had a Twitch for that page as well. Not just, we had a YouTube channel. Obviously, that was big, and we also had a Twitch channel, which is not as big, but like we have a strong kind of viewership base. So if you notice, like down here, you'll actually see our Twitch pop up in the circulation. That's the Twitch, and I was streaming stuff to that Twitch. I was playing like Batman, Arkham Asylum, Layers of Fear I'd played, but I was like, all right, I want to do something a little bit different. So the Resident Evil Village demo was out and it's gonna be right there. If you're listening to this, I just touched the screen and a freaking text just appeared. It was almost like it was magic. So, why do I do this to myself? Lost my goddamn train of thought again. Let me catch up to it. Okay. I'm running up to it. Okay, CHUMBAG HQ. The Resident Evil Village demo came out, and I was gonna be streaming. I wanted to stream it, and at this point, I had a capture card. I had a better mic and everything, and I was making content. And I was gonna play the demo live, and I decided, hey, Alexa, Boston, who's another friend of mine that I made in college. I was like, do you guys just want to hang out? We'll hop on Discord or something, play some game. Play some games, or actually, you watch me play games. I'll be playing some games. I'll be playing the Resident Evil Village demo, and you can react to it. And to my surprise, they're like, sure, I got nothing better to do. So they hopped on a call. We started playing, and immediately, like, we knew that was like, this is fun. Like, this is, just even if it's one person playing the game, the other two kind of just adding that, like, no dead air, just kind of being there with that atmosphere. It worked. And so we finished the Resident Evil Village demo, and then I immediately downloaded. That night, I downloaded Resident Evil 7, and we played through the first 2 hours of Resident Evil 7 Biohazard. And that kind of started off on a path toward, pretty much doing what I used to do on this channel, but just, together instead. And so yeah, there's a lot, and like, again, as some, you'll see some of that content. Like I'll be kind of backlogging some stuff so you guys can get content that I've made pretty much since then to now. Some of the content I'll put up on this channel, like Hitman and Lacuna, for example, which you can, by the way, click the link in the description below to watch it if you're watching or listening to this on YouTube. So we started doing that, and then in 2021, because I have to just keep doing stuff, and I think the pandemic just completely screwed me over, because I had, obviously I was fresh out of college, I was fresh out of film school, I was ready to make stuff, but I didn't have people in my area that were readily like we all kind of went back home to either wherever we were, and after college, and I ended up going back home. And during the pandemic, it was just kind of like that same feeling of pretty much being back in high school and like not being able to, like, not having the freedom to kind of fully do what I want. And because I was like, okay, I can't record all the time, I can't do that stuff, but I still want to make content of some sort. And so in 2021, I started RespawnStation.com. This was a pretty much a blog website that was dedicated to talking about video games, either video game news or video game reviews, and that's kind of the core of the content. So in 2021, we started writing for this website. And if you haven't been to respawnstation.com, I highly recommend it. I'm very, very proud of what we're able to do over a short period of time. I mean, when we started, we had no audience. Like we weren't like our CHUMBAG HQ audience wasn't translating over to this website. This is totally different. Like that was all movies at the time, and this was all video games. There was like no kind of real spillage. So we were kind of started completely blank slate from scratch, and to my surprise, we started getting attention. We started growing, and now this flash 2023 just smacked the table. Now in 2023, we're bringing a few hundred readers every single day to the website. We have we just recently published a developer interview for a game called Mythwrecked Ambrosia Island. I mean, and we've gotten like games. We've contacted. First of all, we've been in contact with like over email with so many awesome PR agencies, developers, publishers. We've gotten games from like Ubisoft and THQ Nordic, just games like games that we were interested in playing, and from people that we were interested in playing games from. And we knew at the very starting point, we knew that we weren't going to be competing with IGN. That was never our goal. It was just pretty much we wanted a place where we could talk about video games, where that we were happy about, like we had an interest in, or we had our eyes on, and then sharing thoughts on games that we've played. And we're lucky enough that now we get a lot of video games to review. At any given point, I pretty much have a game to review. I'm just recently finished up my review for Dave the Diver, so you can check that out on Respawn Station. And so that grew into something totally awesome. And even like we've had developers share content that we've made on their own accounts of their own volition, and several people kind of like most of the content on Respawn Station is me, but I think that if we're talking about like the quality, Nick is undefeated. The man is an absolute machine when it comes to his reviews. And so we've grown. Like both CHUMBAG HQ and Respawn Station have been awesome for me to just kind of create and curate and grow. But I wanted the whole time I wanted to go back to doing things like this, just kind of doing like not as much like we're not doing. I'm not saying there's no quality checks here, but the idea of like this of like I don't have to worry about like, okay, this shot isn't right. I don't have to. I can for a little bit put the movie director away and just kind of focus on making stuff and talking and stuff like that. So and also just like grabbing a camera, and if I have an idea, just freaking throwing it onto the screen, not cutting out the middle time or middleman of like, okay, we need to plan this, we need to schedule this, we need to have this out on this time, send out the emails. This is just, I wanted to go back to that. And so that's what it was going through my mind, like that idea, like I want to do something and I want to kind of, go back to when I was a kid. I was grabbing my, parents' camcorder. I was just doing stuff. Like obviously I talked about doing stuff. I was talking about, recording the gameplay with the screen on the chair, whatever. Like that was just a part of like it. I go out with my friends. I've recreated the trailer. I recreated the trailer shot for shot of Inception back then with my friends. And obviously I say shot for shot, but like clearly there was like we didn't have Christopher Nolan's budget, so like we just kind of like pretend certain things were happening. But that's the whole point. That's why it's awesome. So that's what I did. That's what I wanted to go back to. And when I was doing that, I hadn't logged into this channel. Like not even talking about posting. I'm gonna adjust the chair. Not even posting. I'm talking about just logging into the account. I hadn't done that for a few years. And when I logged in, I was surprised that we still had hundreds of people still here. Now, granted, I'm 100% sure that not all those people are there because they're like, I want more. I want more SDSK. It was probably more along the lines of, I forgot my password for that account that I had in like middle school. Okay, I guess I'll just make a new one, and then they kind of move on, and the account stays. I'm sure that's a thing. But nevertheless, not only did we have a few hundred subscribers here just sitting, waiting, but there was constant engagement. My videos were still getting views. They were still getting comments. And there was actually, and again, I really do mean this. This is what put me over the edge and made me be like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna bring this channel back. Is I was going through the comments and I'd see people say, you should come back. You should make more content. Or I just found your channel. I wish you were making content. Or, like you don't have a lot of subscribers, but I like your content. I was like, it wouldn't make sense for me to start a whole new channel. Well, not when this one's sitting here with nearly 200,000 views. And so yeah, that's kind of why we're back. That's what brought me back. Now, what am I gonna do now that I'm back? That is a good question. Thank you for asking your computer monitor or your screen that question. I heard it loud and clear. And there's a lot. I mean, so first of all, I uploaded a video called the Forgotten Mission Impossible game about the 2000 Mission Impossible Game Boy Color exclusive game from Rebellion. If you haven't watched that, it's a short video. It's not a perfect video. It's just like it's fast. 7 or 8 minutes, and but I had a lot of fun making it, and it was the first I had been wanting to make a video like that for a long time, and so this was my first time doing it, and I had a lot of fun with it. And so if you haven't watched it, I would recommend you do. And to everybody who did watch it, thank you, because that's it, the video doing well. Obviously, like I said, I enjoy the making of the content. I love making the process of it. I enjoy just kind of being creative. But when it's seen, and it helps a little bit as well. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna lie to you and say this doesn't feel good. I also just recorded another video. This one's I aim for one a month of those kind of weirder videos like that. But currently I'm on a roll, so we'll see how it goes. But I did record another one, and this one's just as weird, but like a little bit more elaborate, maybe. I don't know. I haven't fully executed it yet, so I don't know what extent of the elaboration that I'll be going for. So, oh shit, I forgot about something, but I'll get to it in a second. But yeah, that stuff will be there. You can expect those kind of videos at least once a month, like I said. And then these kind of shows. This is. If you've been watching my content, you'll know the SDSK show has been something that I've been wanting to do for a very long time. It's essentially, I as a kid, I'd always wanted to have a talk show, but like without any guests. No, I'm just kidding. I would love to have guests, but I don't need guests to talk. So this is like roughly, at the very most, it'll be an hour-long episodes, but yeah, so like that's what this is. This show is for me to talk, and maybe occasionally I'll have guests, but it's just kind of me talking for roughly an hour, a little bit less probably, just because I have a voice, and I feel like I'll lose it if I talk for any longer than that. That being said, another type of content that I'm doing is another thing that I've been wanting to do pretty much. So again, this is a like YouTube content bucket list stuff that I'm checking off. So obviously we have this show. Another one is called The Rabbit Hole. It's inspired by like those Wikipedia speed runs, but it's the opposite. So I call it a Wikipedia slow run. If you watch the episode, you'll hear the same joke. Again, I thought of it while I was doing that, and it was just like, this is such a good analogy for it. So that's what I used it again here. But essentially, the idea is like I find learning about certain things really interesting, and so I thought it would be cool to just sit down and learn about J. Robert Oppenheimer, and that's exactly what I did. It is an hour and a half almost. It's like an hour and 25 minutes of just reading and like being like, what the hell about everything revolving around Oppenheimer and the Manhattan Project and stuff like that. So definitely check that out. That'll be out sometime this week. I did stream it live to Twitch, the CHUMBAG HQ Twitch, which will once again appear on the screen in just a few seconds if you're watching this. But I streamed it there, and it'll be up on this channel in a few days right after this. But definitely check that out if you also just, again, if you want something in the background, just to like, okay, you're doing something and you just want to listen to it while you're doing whatever you're doing. I recommend doing that. Now, along with those podcasts and stuff like that, we'll also have the games, which I play a lot of games. I do a lot of that stuff. I stream to the twitch.tv/ChumbagHQ. Like I said, it'll show up. It's still, is it frozen? Oh no, there it is. I looked over and it's still the same. There it is, CHUMBAG HQ. Now it's on screen. I stream it to there, and then you guys can see the kind of content after that show up on this channel if I'm playing a game. Currently, we're going through a lot of the older stuff that I had streamed over the last 2 years. I'm bringing some of that stuff over, not everything, but I'm bringing some of that stuff over that I personally enjoy. Series that I personally enjoy. So you can look forward to that. And there are definitely some good ones. So if you're like, oh man, I was missing out on content that's free playing video games and not being good at them, but talking over them and make up for lack of skill, then you are in luck. You have a lot of that stuff on the way. But with that said, there's one thing I forgot. See, along with the pandemic, during the pandemic, stuck in the house, not being able to do a whole lot, and then creating a YouTube channel, and then creating content for that, and then streaming, and then writing articles for a website. I still thought I could do more. This didn't sound as crazy when I was doing it in real life, but like now talking about it, it does sound like I was doing a lot. But another thing I've been wanting to do for a very long time. If you learn anything from pretty much what I've been saying this whole episode for the last 4 years, what I've done, it's if you want to do stuff, if you're like if you're ever feeling like you're creative and you're like, or I have these creative ideas, I want to do something, I want to express myself, just do it. I mean, that's ultimately what the bottom line. If there was a moral to this episode, yeah, that's probably it. But the end of 2021, in November, I self-published a novella. It is a horror novella or a coming-of-age thriller that is 130 pages or something like that, and it is called Nightmare from the Deep. That was a very special project. It was the first time I'd written after having wanted so long in my life to be like, I want to write something. I want to write a book. And having started so many books as a kid, I'm sure I'm not alone in this, but like I used to have on my desktop like chapter 1, and then I'd maybe get like halfway through chapter 2, and then it'd be over. Or sometimes I've even made it as far as like 11 chapters when I'm like in my notebook. I'll just write like 11 chapters, chapter 1, and then this happened, and then chapter 2, and then this happened, and then go down in chapter 11 in the middle of like some really cool thing. I am happy, and then I just kind of stop. So for me, Nightmare from the Deep is very special. It is available now on Amazon. You can search my name and or just search Nightmare from the Deep novella, and it should come up. But you can also click the link in the description below. If you're watching this on YouTube, if you're listening to this somewhere, it'll be on the screen somewhere as well. So I published that in November of 2021. In June of 2022, I published a short story called The Witching Hour, a really weird one. It's kind of horror, but then again, it goes into something totally different later on. And then earlier this very year, in February of 2023, I published Nightmare from the Deep. This is a cyberpunk noir novella. And you know what? Incidentally, it's the sponsor of this episode. That's right, the lesser evil, the most expendable resource in Prospect City, is human life. Emily is a small private investigator in the East District. A new case from a mysterious client sets her down a path of death and deceit as she tries to track down a serial killer that has been prowling the dark, cold, and neon-drenched streets of Prospect City. I'm really proud of this one. As a fan of the cyberpunk genre, this has been I've been wanting to do something that's like really big, you know, like in terms of like just the setting. I like everything else I'd written has been contemporary or near contemporary. Even stuff like, you know, that like a lot of my short films have also just kind of been practically like, you know, in contemporary settings. Other than Virtues, but Virtues, well, we don't talk about it. I'll talk about it. But yeah, this one is a special book. It's a new setting that is entirely from my head, just one that I've been kind of building over the years. And it is once again, it is available now on Amazon, and you can check it out. And let me know what you think if you get around to reading it. And thanks to everybody who did read it and left a review. I don't think all you guys are watching this video. But thank you, because a review goes a long way, especially in a crowded market of you know, book publishing and stuff like that. There's no audiobooks or anything at this point, but I do hope to one day get an audiobook out for some of the stuff that I write. And I am working on another story as well. I kind of chip away at it a little bit here and there whenever I get a chance. So what I was going to say. Virtues. You guys probably, I said right there, Virtues, but I didn't really talk about it. Some of the short films I made in college, after college, have been special as well. So we have The Virtues of Solitude. It is an experimental, emphasis on experimental, horror short film that was the first short film that I'd ever submitted to a film festival. At the time, like, I worked on other stuff where people, like, you know, I helped, you know, as assistant director or even act in some short films that have been that have gotten into festivals. But for me, I had never written and directed a film myself that I had applied for a film festival. So when I made Virtues of Solitude, I was like, okay, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna submit it, and it immediately got into festivals. It was the first film that I, you know, makes sense. It was the first film I applied to getting to festival. So when it got in, I clearly it was the first film that also got into a festival. And so that played in I think 3 festivals over the course of 2019, and then just this year, after a very long and arduous post-production process, we've finished The Virtues. Good Lord. We've finished What Remains, and that is probably my most ambitious short film that I've ever made. It actually has a budget. It's post-apocalyptic. It's 27 minutes long, which, if you know about the whole kind of the general kind of filmmaking process, that's a lot. You know, 27 minutes is a long. There we go. I'm just moving some stuff around. 27 minutes is a long short film, but all the things considered, I'm happy with it, and I'll talk about that another episode as well. I'll keep notes of that. All the stuff we need to talk about it for another episode. But What Remains is actually not post-apocalyptic. I apologize. It's, to be specific, post-pandemic is very specific. When we were writing it, or when we were making it, it was post-pandemic. It wasn't just post-apocalyptic. We wanted to do something different, but in doing so, we did not think that the thing that would delay our post-production for our post-pandemic film would be a real pandemic. But yeah, COVID-19 really slowed us down. And so yeah, that's why it took so long to kind of finish it up. Again, Nick, who I was talking about, an absolute machine when it comes to writing reviews, also an absolute machine when it comes to editing movies. Guys, really awesome. And so, with that end, we would not have been able to finish What Remains. And yeah, but I'm glad we did. It is currently going through festivals. It's gotten into 2 festivals so far. We're waiting to hear back from a few more. So it'll be out soon. Hopefully by the end of the year we can have it out for you guys. It's just that the way it works is that film festivals don't all accept films if a lot of them, some do, but a lot of them don't accept films if they're publicly available for everyone to see. So yes, we can't upload it until we kind of gotten the yes or no from everybody that we've submitted the film to. I'm gonna get a drink of water, and while I talk about the water, I want to thank our CHUMBAG HQ channel sponsor, not channel sponsor. God, I can't open this bottle. I want to thank Coldest Water for their. Oh my God, dude, this bottle is sealed, my guys. Holy dude, I can't open this. This is the challenge of the episode. How do I open this bottle? I'm gonna put the mic down now. This has become serious. Okay, it was a lot easier with 2 hands, but thank you to the Coldest Water. They've been sponsoring us for 2 years now, and we keep saying yes because their bottles are really good. Beautiful. You know what that water was? Normal. It wasn't cold because I have sensitive teeth. A lot of people think coldest water. Oh, it's like it's cold. It's like refrigerating. It's not. It's just very well insulated or isolated. Insulated. Yeah, it says insulated on it. It's very well insulated so that whatever temperature of water you put inside, it retains that temperature for a very long time. But oh my God, I've been talking for 40 something minutes, 45 minutes. So I'll start wrapping things up. People, check out all the stuff I said. If you're watching this on YouTube, then check out the link in the description below because you'll see some stuff to watch. Keep an eye on the channel. Again, our YouTube is SDSK. Is youtube.com. I think it's youtube.com/SDSK is my channel. So check it out over there. And there's so much awesome content on the way. Just really funny or really good. And I'm not even, sometimes the content isn't even funny, so the game is good as well. And so, like Lacuna, for example, is another walkthrough. Like I said, that just went up, and I really enjoy Lacuna because it is such an awesome game. And so, stuff like that isn't really for the fun factor. It's just you want to experience that whole narrative as is. But we got that. Next one is I think on the slate is Dead Rising 3. So a lot of stuff coming, and then we also have YouTube Shorts. I haven't really done YouTube Shorts in the past, so I'm going to be trying to do that this as we move forward. So hopefully you guys enjoy those. Go watch them a bunch and stuff. Tell YouTube that I'm doing good. That's what I need so I can get back to being promoted. Not being promoted, just like have my videos reach sub boxes. I mean, I get it. I've been inactive for quite a few years, so it's going to take me a while to kind of build up the momentum of this channel again. But I've come to accept that as I've started the channel again. But nevertheless, people, thank you guys so much for watching. Thanks to everybody who has remained subscribed over all these years. I really do appreciate it. Like I said, I know not everybody's here because they I definitely want to watch what SDSK does next. Some of you guys are just here because you're like, I used to like him, and they'll see what happens. Whatever it is, whatever the reason, And to all the new people that are like, just didn't even realize I haven't uploaded in a while. Hello, welcome. Now I am uploading, so now you'll know. But yeah, thank you to everybody for all the love. I really do appreciate it. If you like this, then leave a like below, and if you want to see more, then make sure you subscribe. And if you're listening to this on a podcast service of whatever your favorite podcast service is, make sure you give it a good rating. I'd appreciate it. There may be certain bonus episodes of this stuff as well that's going up, so keep your peepers peeled for that, in case, in the off chance that I do that. But with all that said, people, as always, what do I do? Do I do the old outro or the new outro that I do? I did the old intro, so it feels only right that I do the old outro as well. So, thanks for watching. And until next time. Shit. What's the old outro? Oh, wait. Hold on. Shh. I got it. Thanks for watching, and... Oh, what the hell? I think it's just... Okay. Thanks for watching, and peace off. Cake?